A lot of people in the Roblox community have been discussing, quite harshly actually, how they think we need a new CEO, okay? I have a lot to say about this and I'm sure that you guys do as well. So of course, please feel free to take this discussion into the comment section. Tell me what you think about what I'm saying. Tell me how you feel about this. Basically, they think that David Baszucki, the CEO of Roblox, should be fired, removed, replaced. They think that he should resign and let someone else take over. Quite literally anything like that, okay? If it means that David would no longer be the CEO of Roblox, these people want it. Understandably so, especially after everything that's happened in the past few months. I mean, there is literally a petition from August called Remove David Baszucki, and I remember when that first came out, like I made a video about it, I'm pretty sure. I thought it was insane watching it jump from 1,000 signatures to 10,000 overnight. And now I'm looking at it sitting there about to reach 300,000 signatures. And all of the most recent ones are from the past few hours. People are still signing this, like actively signing this. I think that might say enough on its own without us having to say literally anything at all. Now, many people have been discussing the CEO of Roblox for the better part of a year. Unfortunately, for David Baszucki, it's not necessarily in a good way. It never really has been, but it continues to get worse with each day that passes, and we are now at a point where my last video, the last video that I uploaded, was literally titled "The CEO of Roblox is losing his mind." And for anyone new here or anyone who doesn't keep up with things like this somehow, even though it's absolutely everywhere, I promise you that title was not an exaggeration. All I'm going to say is I highly suggest you go and watch that video to see what went down and how he acted, the things he said, because he said and did far too many ridiculous things for me to pinpoint the exact moment he lost his mind. My point is, one of the biggest statements that has been thrown around non-stop for the past few months is something along the lines of, or one variation of, fire David Baszucki, remove David Baszucki, Roblox needs a new CEO, replace the CEO of Roblox, and so many more variations floating around. Saying those things isn't really a problem, especially if that's how you feel about this. That's just going to be your opinion, but it's also not getting us anywhere. I mean, I just showed you this petition to remove him as the CEO that has 300,000 signatures. It's not going to do anything, so all of this is utterly pointless. And every single time we talk about these important and serious issues on Roblox, the entire point of that is to get somewhere. We are not just here for the sake of being here. We are not using our voices because it's a trend, which unfortunately some people have already started to view it that way. They think that this trend is overdone. Sadly, okay, we would all genuinely prefer if we didn't have to talk about this at all. If Roblox was doing fine, none of this would exist, and that's the kind of, like, that's the end goal here, for these problems to not exist. So then, realistically, a new CEO is not what we need, and honestly, it could end up being a little more counterproductive than what people hope for when they go around chanting "remove David Baszucki" or "Roblox needs a new CEO." Again, saying those things is not a bad thing. It's not also not entirely wrong, but it's, again, like I said, not getting us anywhere. Sure, David Baszucki is losing his mind a little bit. He's running things into the ground, and the way he's running Roblox proves to be more and more disastrous every single day. But at the same time, he has been there since the very start, right? Like, whether or not it seems like he has been there since day one, whether it seems like he does or not, he knows Roblox. A new person who has never been with Roblox before, who has never run Roblox, who was not with Roblox since its inception, if they were to suddenly be thrown into the position of CEO of Roblox, things are likely to burn a lot faster than they already are. So yes, David Baszucki might be burning Roblox, but a completely new person who has absolutely no idea anything about Roblox would probably burn it a little bit faster. That is not what we need. We do not need a new CEO. We need the CEO to have a new mindset. Okay, those two things are very different. And I'm gonna clarify my stance here. I'm not saying that David Baszucki is doing a good job. I'm not saying he shouldn't be removed because he's handling things well. Clearly, he is not. I mean, my last video was literally called "The CEO of Roblox is losing his mind because of his most recent interview and the things he publicly said about how they are handling safety issues," or rather the things that he didn't say because he seemed to avoid it a lot of the time. But that video got hundreds of comments, and a good handful of them were the same old "we need a new CEO" kind of comments. Okay, like, again, I'm gonna keep reiterating this. There is nothing wrong with people feeling that way. It's not entirely wrong to say that either. Like, yes, we kind of do need someone new, but at the same time, I'm gonna keep saying it, I just don't think we're getting anywhere by saying those things because it's never realistically going to happen. I just think we have so many problems to focus on right now, and we need to put all of our energy and effort towards something that will actually make a difference. Okay, like the current approach that we have, this mindset, it really just wastes the entire community's efforts when combining all of our efforts will genuinely end up being quite powerful. Talking about these things non-stop every single day is great. It doesn't give Roblox a chance to stop and breathe, and it definitely doesn't allow them to hide from anything. But instead, using that same voice to say something meaningless like "fire David Baszucki," when again, realistically, it's never going to happen, that's a lot closer to wasting your efforts, right? A lot of people also seem to just straight up be saying really horrible things about him, and that needs to stop immediately. That is not what we do here, okay? Regardless of anything, that is useless and it's not helping anyone. Yes, he talks and acts like an AI a lot of the time. Yes, his facial expressions were a little bit strange, especially in that interview, but to instead again be counterproductive and instead use your voice to say bad things about how he looks or just accuse him of crimes, like, this really isn't getting us anywhere. We definitely, as a community, need to rethink how we approach these things. So I will say this, okay? The constructive path forward would be to please continue using your voices for good and put your efforts towards anything that will help make a change, even if it's the smallest, tiniest change that you will ever see in your life. That still counts. That is still progress, and that is still way more effective than screaming into the void about replacing the CEO of Roblox with some random new person who might make things even worse. And also, realistically, they are never going to replace David Baszucki, okay? It's not going to happen, so continuing to use your voice to say that is ultimately wasting your efforts. So please, the comments is the place to go. Tell me what you guys think about Roblox possibly removing their CEO, except I'm lying, they will absolutely never do that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.